Yo, welcome back, Wealth Builders. Marquise Robinson here with another Wealth Wednesday. In this segment, I want to break down a deal one of the members of our community did where we made $20K. That's right, $20,000 USD without making any repairs to the property, right? Not putting credit on the line. We didn't even buy this deal. One of our students, Miss Thomas, in our community, right? She was able to find a motivated seller with the strategies that we teach. So the unique thing about this deal is this, right? Number one, she was a single mom. She's putting herself through school right now, and she just graduated with a master's degree, right? All while wholesaling real estate with this unique strategy that we use. But most importantly, man, she was determined, right? She was coachable. She executed on the information that we gave her, and she was committed to changing her situation and giving her and her kids a better life, a better place to live. But most importantly, man, betting on herself and going for it. So specifically about this deal, right? Listen, she wanted to change the situation. So she pulled a Tired Landlord from our DealWise software, our in-house DealWise software that we put together where we send the leads over to our community. If you're interested in DealWise, definitely let me know. But this asset, right, that we put together, right, our CRM that we put together has helped so many students close deals. But this deal right here really hit home for me because I grew up with a single parent, right? My mom had me at 15. She did a great job with me. First college graduate in my family. My brother graduated college. My sister did right after me as well. But I thought about something, man. What if somebody would have gave my mom this game? This taught them how to wholesale real estate. Imagine where I would be, right? I'd probably be so much better off. But nevertheless, this gave me an opportunity to give back. And this is why I do it, right? Help people change their situation, make money, but most importantly, bet on themselves and get the confidence back that they may have lacked at one point. So that being said, let's dive into the deal itself. So she reached out to this owner of a property who was a tired landlord, okay? We had the list sent over to her. We skip traced it, phone numbers, the whole nine, right? It was a tired landlord list. She picked up the phone, right, and called the lady back after our AI agents did the initial follow-up. So if you don't know, in our DealWise software, we have AI agents that make the calls. They'll email these people. They'll even send them a text as well. And then they'll book the call on your calendar. So she called them back and she negotiated the numbers, right? She offered them $100K below the assessment.
You're looking for something straightforward, no repairs, no closing costs, and a fair offer. That's exactly what we specialize in. If you could wave a magic wand, what would the perfect selling process look like for you?
A process where I close in 30, 45 days. I don't make any repairs to the property. You guys pay the closing costs. If you can get that done, I think I may be open to it. But again, I'm not taking any lowball offers at this time.
Totally hear you, Marcus. Sounds ideal, and that's exactly how we work. We'll make sure the offer is fair and based on the property's value.
And the seller, she was kind of on the fence at the moment because she actually had just went through a divorce, right? But she was awarded the property in the divorce. So this lady was living in Houston, Texas, right? Spring, Texas, right outside of Houston, I think. She was living in Texas, but the property was here in Ellenwood, Georgia. So the issue was, number one, she had just been through a divorce. So I know that was time consuming and a lot of emotion attached there. Number two, the tenants had really did a number on this property. I'm gonna post some pictures right here below. The property looked rough on the inside. And think about this. She was living in Texas. The property's in Georgia. She just went through a divorce. It's a lot going on. So as you can see, we added value to her life because again, we gave her $155K for the property, right? And we ended up selling it after fees and everything to our buyer on the back end for $175. So again, it was a $20K spread in between because we contracted the property from someone who was in a distressed situation. She was going through divorce and she was a tired landlord. Those are two things right there that made her say, you know what, guys, I'll trade the equity in my property for speed and convenience. If you can get this deal done, I'm happy to work with you. But that's not all, guys. That's not all. The secret sauce is this, right? So we made the initial offer, okay? She accepted it, but the property needed some work. So a lot of investors passed on it. This is what we did. We used our Novation strategy where we listed the property on the MLS, right? So everything was in black and white. In the agreement, we listed the property on the MLS with our Novation strategy. With this Novation strategy, you're still wholesaling real estate, okay? But you're wholesaling real estate on the MLS with a realtor. So we listed the property at a price where we gave our buyers enough room to take the deal down. We were able to pay the realtor their 3% on the deal also. And we were able to give it enough room for any concessions that buyer may have asked for. Because remember, when you're doing a Novation deal, I want to be very clear. You're going to be selling this deal to a FHA or conventional buyer. When I say FHA or conventional buyer, I'm talking about a buyer that's going to put 3.5% down. Typically, a FHA buyer is someone who's a first-time home buyer, right? They have decent credit. They have proof of income. They're going to put 3.5, maybe even 5% down. The other buyer that we were looking to promote this thing to, right, was a conventional buyer. With a conventional buyer, they're typically putting a little bit more down. This is more so an entrepreneur who's making money, but they don't have a W-2 per se. So nevertheless, my point is this. You can get wholesale deals done on the MLS, and you can do these things off market, okay? You can do these with beat up houses, bandos, if you will, but most importantly, you can do it with a fairly decent house like this one right here that we had, guys. So again, the thing was this. We found a distressed seller using our DOI CRM, right? Number two, we reached out to someone that was going through a divorce. They were a tired landlord. They lived in Texas. The property was in Georgia. As you can see, there was some conflict there for them. She was like, guys, I just want out. I want out of this property. I just want to move on. It hurt so bad that she traded the equity in the property for speed and convenience. And that's how you can make a lot of money if you're a beginner, you're a single mom, single dad, or maybe you're like, hey man, I want to get in real estate, but I don't have time to really do a whole lot of deals. I don't have time to make a lot of phone calls. We solved the problem for the person in our community by giving them access to our software, right? That had the AI agents do all of the hard work, all of the lead work and the dirty work for them. So all they had to do was follow up, right? But most importantly, this was a single mom, guys. I'm gonna say this one more time. This was a single mom, 2 kids, putting herself through grad school as well. That is why we do it. That is why we do so many big things in our community. We give back and we host these bi-weekly calls where we can hold people accountable. My team is coming in underwriting the deals as well. So we knew it was a deal because again, we were 100K below this estimate, right? It needed some work, but it wasn't the worst house on the block. And last but not least, I don't know about you, but in the Metro Atlanta area, if you get a deal under contract below 160 or 175, more than likely you can put a little bit something on it. We put 20K on it, and you can probably sell that deal to another investor. So again, this was a great deal. We made 20K. The screenshot is right here below. No cap, no fluff over here, guys. Again, we was able to help Miss Thomas out close her first wholesale real estate deal. Again, the first of many deals, by the way, and she's working on another deal right now in the DFW area that we should be closing very, very soon. So again, quick takeaway, right? We leveraged AI. We reached out to a tired landlord who actually was going through a divorce as well, right? The AI agents made the calls and the follow-ups for us. We put a contract on it, but most importantly, we put this property on the MLS. We wholesaled it to a conventional buyer. They took it down. We made 20K on the deal. We didn't do any work to it. We didn't put our credit on the line. We didn't make any repairs. We didn't even see the property in person. Isn't that crazy? The agent went and took the pictures for us because they wanted to really, really sell the deal because they knew it was a slam dunk. And last but not least, man, we got the property 100K below the estimate price. And again, we did all of this by underwriting on our bi-weekly calls. Typically, a deal like this, we would sell it to a local buyer, but some of the local buyers passed, right? They didn't like the area. They felt like it needed a little bit too much work for what they wanted to do. They made lowball offers. So anytime that happens, we typically pivot to our novation strategy, okay? Remember what I told you earlier. With the novation, we're listing this property on the MLS with a realtor. We're gonna pay them 3% and we're gonna take the spread in between. We list the property at a price point where the realtor can make their 3% and we can still make our 20 to 30K target spread on these deals. So that's more than likely why, for the most part, we went and put the property on the MLS, because let's be honest, the MLS is the biggest buyers database there is. You have FHA buyers, you have cash buyers, but you also have conventional buyers like we ran into on this deal who's like, hey, you know what? I'll pay the realtor commissions and I'll go ahead and take this thing down for 175, because truth be told, the property was actually worth about 220. So they bought the property with instant equity and they had a team in place already who could make repairs for little to nothing. So again, that is how we're getting these deals done in this new market. Because again, I know everybody's probably thinking, get the property on the contract and sell it to a local buyer. But what if that local buyer doesn't like the property, or maybe they don't like the area, or maybe what would you do if they lowball you on the offer? It's happened to me a million times. That is why we came in with this new sauce, this new strategy called the Novation, where we'll simply get the property on the contract, list it on the market, and we'll work directly with that realtor to set up inspections, accept or decline offers. And then last but not least, we'll make sure we get a buffer in there where the seller gets what they want, the realtor gets their 3%, and last but not least, we make the 20 to 30K spread that we want to make. And that's how we was able to close this deal, man. If you want more sauce, if you want to really, really tap in, do me a favor, man. Click the link below to join me in my community where we meet every week, right? We meet bi-weekly on our Wednesday call. My team is going to be on there. I have special guests come on, but most importantly, guys, I'm going to hold you accountable, because here's the thing, man. I want you guys to win. If you give that job permission to feed you, you give that job permission to starve you as well. I want you guys to bet on yourself, make money, but execute, be coachable, and last but not least, man, commit to change your situation. Click the link below to join me in my community where we're going to be giving you guys the sauce bi-weekly every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Catch you guys next time, man. Let's go.